Welcome to the fuzzy room. I wonder why. Oh, I might have something on my camera. The last live stream was a mess. Excuse me for a minute while I cover the camera. The camera might need to. The lens might need to be cleaned. I don't know. It might actually help because I had a kind of a special request to do a painting live stream, and I got out of bed this morning and it was lashing rain, and I thought, grand, I can't do anything outside because I always lash outside if the weather's nice and try and do something outdoorsy. So it's a perfect day for reading or painting or something. And somebody had asked me to do a painting live stream, although, as you can see, my lighting setup is poor, to say the least. And then I was on another live stream, one of Montagraph's ones, and we were talking about painting, and I had the goo on me, which means keenness, to do portrait. And I was saying, oh, he has a good face for a portrait. And then a couple of people in chat were saying to me, oh, you should do a portrait. Oh, please do. So I had two requests, one to do a painting one and another one to do a portrait. And portraits used to be a specialty. As you know, I'm not a professional painter anymore, and I couldn't even be called a hobbyist, as I don't know if I'm even good enough anymore to qualify as a hobbyist, but I do like painting from time to time. And the last time I did a portrait was, I have done a couple of portraits from photographs. One, they were towards finished pieces. This is an oil pastel one. This was done in March, and I was going to do another painting from it. And then when I started the painting, I kept thinking, well, the pastel is actually a lot more interesting than the painting. I took photos on the phone of myself, and I also had a mirror set up, and I was referring to both the photos and the mirror for the painting. So it wasn't just done from photos, but the pastel set was fantastic. I don't know, I probably showed it to you before. I don't know where I put it. I think I have it in the other room at the moment. I've got this big long box of oil pastels, which are totally different from chalk pastels. And what brand were they? They weren't Reeves. They were something pretty good. Excuse me for a minute, and I'll go and find it because I love this set so much, and I want to tell you the story about how I got it for €2. I'm walking out on you already. Where? Oh. Yeah, here's the set for anybody who didn't see it before. I was showing it off before the live stream. I was so excited about it. This was waiting for me in a junk shop. It's marked €4. I think they gave it to me for £2. I bought a couple of extra colours I wanted for it. They've no brand name on them, and I thought they were going to be rotten. But they're not. They were very good quality. I couldn't believe it. I looked up the set online, and it was about 30 something euros. But it had a fantastic range of colours in it. Really nice range of colours, and little knickknackies like blending things and all that. And I liked the little case because they can be, they're not as delicate as chalk pastels, but so I wanted to try them out. So that's why I had done like a couple of landscape things with the intention of doing oil paintings from them, because you can do different things in an oil painting than you can do in pastels, and you can build them up more and mess with them. But I never did the paintings for them at all in the end. The other thing I did recently, that was March, and I don't know where my this is. Oh, I'm always telling people I'm actually quite organised, and I prove myself wrong because every time I look for something, I can't find the darn thing. And I did the last thing I did in oils, which I cannot find, was a portrait from a photo as well. Oh, that's time to finish the meditation. The meditation was finished. I didn't sit it out. In the middle of it, I went, oh, I want to paint. And that was the end of the meditation idea. So the painting session, I'm hoping, will be relaxed because it's early enough in the morning here. I don't think anybody will turn up in the live stream, which suits me fine because I'm just going to paint as if nobody's here, basically. So if anybody did turn up, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's that I probably haven't seen you and I'm trying to concentrate. So there's two excuses right there. I can't show you the other portrait. I don't know where I put that. I don't know where I put that. Oh, it's looking at me there somewhere. I don't know where I put the sketch pad it was in. I did it in oils on paper, which is not a good idea because the oil in the oil paint sinks through paper and it'll rot the paper. You'll get a painting out of it for a while and it'll last a while, but it will deteriorate. And I have had things now that I've done on paper before that have lasted years. You can prime the paper painting and prime the paper. So you can actually do it on paper, but it's not as durable as a painting. And if you want a painting, obviously you want it to last, don't you? This place is the pigsty, this Moor Oaks. All the previous painting things are here. Don't look, just look at the wall behind me. Haven't laid the palette out either. This is going to be a long live stream, folks. Just warning you, I don't expect people to watch it out of any sort of mistaken sense of loyalty or anything like that. But sometimes it's interesting seeing maybe what archetypes go through when they're just trying to get their actor to paint. I have a friend of mine that likes painting, and we tend to have the same problem. There's a problem artists have that a lot of them I know have told me about, that getting yourself to actually start a painting is horrendous, and you will clean the entire house. I haven't been tempted to do that, don't worry. You'll clean the entire house and do all sorts of things you would never normally do just to escape the moment of getting up and starting a painting. Because you're creating something out of nothing, aren't you? So that can be difficult. And the nothing that I want to create this out of is, I was saying it to the person that one of the people that was very keen for me to do the portrait of Montegraph was Cece Brown, who's a nice girl, and I said, oh yeah, the one I would do it from is there's a video of him standing in, I think he's by a lake or something, and there's all lovely greens around him, and I liked the lighting in it because it was outdoors, and the lighting was just nice in it, and I liked that the green was reflecting in and, you know, picking up the green in eyes and things like that. And, you know, the reason I said he'd be interesting to do was somebody's bone structure is always interesting to me. If they've got good bone structure or interesting structure in their face. There were other YouTubers that I also thought had great faces, but that I thought, yeah, they're going to think this is a video about them, and I don't want anybody getting butt hurt that I'm getting I'm making some sort of a joke or something about how they look, and I really don't think Montegraph would care. Like, you know, he knows there's no issues going on or anything. So if he did care, I'd take the video down. It's not a big deal. I'm not into insulting anybody at the moment. I just want a quiet life at the moment, and I haven't gotten enough painting. I've had the time, but I've had a little bit of hassle, which I had to deal with, and kind of took away from doing things. But let's have some fun. So I don't have a palette laid out around. I'll do that first, and then I'll show you. I'll show you. I'd just lower the light levels for a second there. I always have this lighting problem, don't I? It's actually very dark in this room, but anyway, right. I just have to describe what colours I'm laying out. Dare I put on music? I'll get a copyright strike for this now, what do you say? But I hate painting with no music on. And, you know, it's hard to get nice copyright-free music. Can I play somebody? I can't even play people that are dead because the music companies have their copyright. You know what? Artists would not be into this copyright business in a way, because we want to share stuff. We don't want people to steal stuff and make money off it for themselves, but we don't mind just open sharing of things. That's the idea of art. I got very annoyed when they started charging into art galleries, because most artists can't afford to go to galleries, so artists can't look at other artists' works in the big galleries. It's only commercial galleries that are free into. And like, that's, you know, you learn a lot of skills from looking at other artists' work. Sorry, you're not seeing anything. I'm rooting for music. Look at my ugly face there. Don't say that about yourself, Donna. That's mean. Shouldn't be mean to yourself. There's always somebody else willing to do that for you. I am looking for... We'll risk a copyright strike, will we? What the heck? You can't be too precious about your videos, are they? Nothing is forever. Music, I have a music folder there somewhere. I normally paint to classical music. Often paint to Baroque. Goldberg Variations was one of the ones I was painting to recently. Darn it. Excuse me, burping as well, not long after breakfast. The morning time is a good time to do anything for me, because my mind is nice and clear after a night of dreaming or whatever you do to clear your head out. Where are my playlists? I need to concentrate here. Oh, they're mine. I'm on my channel. My videos. Oh, there we are. Music. I don't want to do jazz. Jazz is too, gets you too involved. A lot of classical does as well, but if you get the right thing, Albinoni, that'd be nice. Albinoni's oboe concerto. How's that? And that goes on for an hour.
How can you quickly turn books into money? Visit.com pays for all kinds of books as well as CDs.
This is Stefan Schilly on the oboe with the Stuttgart Camera Orchestra. Don't know what year they did that in. I hope that's not too loud. Oh, hiya, Nina. Freddie Mercury singing opera for Montserrat Caballé. I seem to remember that one. Exercises of Free Love. Is that, I don't know what that is. Is that having to do with Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballé? Anyhow, Nina, this is going to be, it could be dull for you. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. What the hell? I forgot you would be up at this hour. I actually didn't expect anybody, but right, we're gonna put some paint out on the palette. And I don't know how much this you saw. I was gonna have a go at. Okay, I'll play that in a while. Is that the name of the song? Exercises of Free Love. I think I need to know the name of the song. Okay, I'm going to say the name of the colours when I'm putting them out. These are, so this is going to be a palette for portrait painting, and I was going to do a portrait of Montegraph, or try. I had a video there somewhere that CC Brown linked me to, that was one that had a close-up of him in a field, and I thought that might be a good one to try a portrait from. So the palette has not been cleaned, but we're ignoring that fact. And I'm going to lay out portrait colours. So Naples yellow I'm addicted to, and it's a great portrait colour. It's a very pale buttery yellow. I use a lot of it in portraits. I do a lot of groundwork in that. I'd use a lot of Van Dyke Brown or burnt sienna for underpainting, for mid and dark tones, and then I use Naples yellows for blocking in light tones or mid tones, and then obviously you can work up your higher tones with whites and establish your darker tones. I usually try and get mid tones established first, because you have to break the problem, if you want to look at it that way, up into components and deal with it on a simple level before you get more complicated about it. Okay. Yeah, you know what we're doing. I'm trying to paint a portrait from a video thumbnail or a video clip, basically, which that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to be able to see the thing on the screen. That's the only thing. So how I'm going to see it on the screen, I'm going to have to be turning my head to see the screen, and then turning back the other way if I'm going to keep the actual portrait in shot for you to see me doing it, which is very awkward, because normally you'd want the source or the sitter sitting in your line of sight, so that you don't have too much head movement, because with your head moving a lot, by the time you move back to the canvas that you're working on, your proportions are going to start going out of whack, basically. The further away you are from the thing, the more the proportions can go out of whack. Okay, I've got 2 colours down. I might get a burnt sienna. I've got Van Dyke Brown, which is a dark brown. And where's my sienna? I might want to sienna for a warmer tone. And the music is Albinoni's Oboe Concerto, if you're wondering. That's not too loud, Nina, is it? Or I can higher it a little bit if it's not loud enough. Right, off we go, folks. I want to show you the canvas. These are cheap at the moment, I have to say. They used to be much dearer. So the canvas is cheap quality one. You know what I'm going to say, Lidl's supermarket. But they're not bad quality, actually, but they're not primed well. So I have a gesso primer, and I put a couple of extra coats of primer on it. So that is, it's actually it's a little bit too rectangular for the portrait I had in mind, but when I see the video proportions, I'll know. This was the last thing I was working on that stalled. I was actually going to use this canvas for another version of this and work on the 2 of them together, because I became very interested in the water in that one and thought I'd like to do one of just the water. And then I went back down to the river and worked up sketches of the water. I can't figure out where up that one goes. Worked up sketches of the water in watercolor and took some more photos towards that one. But I have loads of canvases there. It was a 5-pack of canvases. So, I'm not stuck for canvases. I'll put that one out of the way. That's going to dry. Okay, so I have to find the video now for reference. I would have loved to do a portrait of our favourite lady on one of the Truth channels, but I was accused of putting a hex on her before when I did a self-portrait. She thought it was of her, so I won't go there, all right? Right, let me find the video, Nina, and I have to ignore you just for a moment because the lighting is great. You are too kind. I don't know about that, but anyway, I'll take your word for it. Now, let's see, can I find the video? And another screen will come up for me, so I won't be able to talk to you for a while. So please forgive. I'm not deliberately trying to be rude or anything. Okay, my channel, and I want my playlist because I saved it in playlist there somewhere. And if you wanted to see what video I'm working from, I'll tell you which playlist it is if I can remember. It might be painting, probably. Let's see. Where did I put it? I should have looked at this before to figure out it. Oh yeah, it's there. It's on a playlist called Painting, and I will give you the link so you can see what we're looking at.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll show you the video, and then we'll go through it, and I'll try and find a clip I like to do the portrait from. And I suppose the thing about a video is if there's a facial feature that I'm still not sure about or something, or I need to see from a different angle, I could change the point in the video. I'll mark the point at which I'd say to myself, oh yeah, that would make a good portrait position and everything. And then I can go back and forth a little bit if I'm unsure about like nose or, you know, how an eye socket fits in or something. But I will mark when I find the section of the video, the timestamp for the bit I'm doing the painting from. I'll put that in the link here so you can see exactly what it is I'm trying to paint. I think the thumbnail was all right in this one, but it's all and there's no secret message in this, folks. I'm just looking at the name of the video. There's no secret message that I'm putting across in this. This is me just doing a portrait of a YouTuber, all right? It's not like a big... I'm not sending messages out to Titus Frost or Defango or Montegraph or anybody, okay? Just forget any of that stuff. This is just about painting, and somebody asked me to do a painting. It wasn't even Montegraph. He might ask me, take it down. I don't like it. I don't know what's going to happen. Everything you do on YouTube, somebody has something to flip and say about it. You see, I don't... you know, I could have somebody around and do a sitting or do a self-portrait or something, but I could do a self-portrait sometime. You can't censor your whole life, though, God. I used to watch TV, and people would come on for debates, and if they were talking head programs like debates, I'd draw people while they were debating. Because it's like doing something, you know, but listening. So it just stops you sitting there feeling like a passive viewer, really. I cannot find... This might take a minute to find me a bit I like. His mouth is moving most of the time. Well, not surprising. Not surprising. He also squints a lot. I don't want something completely squinty. The purpose, in my mind, of a portrait is around here somewhere. That one might be... Can't get right on the exact timestamp I want. That's not bad. The purpose of a portrait, to me, is not to flatter somebody and make them look their very best, all right? Although that happens because portraits often are commissioned, and often artists used to have patrons that they regularly did portraits for, or they'd have somebody hire them to do a portrait, and then the other person would recommend them to their friends, and they put the portrait up in their big fancy house, and their friends would come around for drinks or what dinners or whatever, and their friends would think, oh, that's a very flattering portrait they made. Him or her or the family look very good in that one, and it's a status symbol. And I'm going to commission one as well. So quite often, somebody like Singer Sargent would have caved to that pressure. And although he was a very good painter, I don't like a lot of his stuff for that reason. He uses a lot of slick tricks that are intended to flatter. But there is a very funny story about Sargent, a family that he painted. I can't remember the family's name, but he had a disagreement with them while he was painting the family. He was one of the biggest portrait painters and hugely popular. And he had an argument with the family, didn't get on with them at all, hated them. And because they were interfering with the painting, they kept saying, oh, I want this and I want it to be more, and can you make her? And they did the cardinal sin, which is to tell a painter, I want you to make my daughter look prettier. She's not that ugly. I had somebody do that to me once and I was unimpressed. They rang me up years later and wanted me to change the painting years later. I just said, look, the painting you got is the painting you got. When you hired me as a creative, not as a graphic designer that's going to do what you want them to do. Sorry. So Sargent got miffed as well, rightly so, and he took it a bit far. He actually amended the portrait all right, but he made the daughter incredibly ugly. And they weren't happy then, but they got the message. So, the artist is king at the end of the day, really. Nobody tells an artist what to do. It's not the thing. Now, I don't like the mouth particularly, and that, but the eyes is good. I can't get one where it's all happening at once, though. Hang on. See, people in motion, you don't have a face at rest in videos. They've usually got some micro expression going on that has to do with what they're about to say. Whereas when you have a sitter on front of you, they go into a more meditative state, if you know what I mean. That's about the best I can get. Don't know about that though. I'll show you this. Oh God, it's going to take me ages just to pick the bit I want. I'm going to show you this still, which isn't bad, but it has something that I don't like doing in portraits. There is, this is tips and tricks here. There is something in portraits that's, sorry, I'm trying to get my desktop out of the way, or my taskbar. There's something in portraits that you often end up doing is a 3/4 view, which is what I'm in at the moment. The clip there has Montegraph in a side-on view, like a coin, which tends to be very flattening, and it's quite hard to get to see the 3D-ness of the face. It just makes life a bit more difficult for the painter. So I'm trying to find one near that point at which I have a 3/4 view. With this flipping mouth shut. Okay, that's not bad. I like that one. This timestamp is 1:24. I'd better freeze it there before I lose it again. And it's going to be hard to get back. I'll have to click on it myself. Wait till I just mark what it is. Correct. Okay, that's the one I'm going for there, folks. Well, folk. Is folk is singular? I don't think it is. All right, here we go, Nina. Finally, it only took me 29 minutes to get this far. You can see why people put off painting. I'm on a full screen on this now. Try to remember not to pick my nose and see can I get the groundwork in. So I like that one because his face is a bit more relaxed in it. He doesn't look like he looks like he's thinking. He's not about to launch into sentences and kind of going, or screwing his eyes up particularly. He's got his eyes screwed up against the light, but that it also is a typical Montegraph expression as well. You kind of have to know the person a little bit, I think, in movement to do a good portrait. The portrait isn't a snapshot of a second in time the way a photograph could be. You've got to have something about the person's personality in it as well. I'm promising a lot in here sometime. I probably won't deliver. But I mean, you get to see how portrait is done. Let me just make sure that because I moved the computer, let me just make sure you can still see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's not very close, but like that's all I can do, really. I don't want to come down with the computer onto the table. Sure. Let's see how it goes. Sorry, I didn't apologize for walking away there. I was looking for the next essential, which is a cigarette and a cup of tea on, right? Then I can begin. You see, took a half an hour just to get the act together to even begin, Oh my goodness, it's like a flipping full day's work here. I thought I put it in my pocket. It's not in my pocket though. Lost something else now. Where are you? There's a bit of one, but that doesn't look. Table. They're walking around with it. What do we do with me, huh? What do we do with me? Probably plugged in and charging. I have various things plugged in. Yeah, I have something plugged in and charging. Let's hope it charges. I'm smoking these things like a trooper. I was supposed to be giving them up this month. Ha, 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 ha. It's now the 15th. Good luck with that one. I don't know how that's going to happen. Now we just need the other half of the cigarette device. Excuse me again. Okay, found a whole cigarette. Kettle's on. I can't avoid it any longer, Nina. Off I go. I don't want to open up that window again. Yeah, make coffee. Make coffee. Wander off and back. Wander in and out as you please. No chains in here, baby. Right. Don't play. Just stay at that moment. 1 hour 24 we're at in the video. I got rid of the bar at the bottom. Why is that showing? My cursor isn't on it. Maybe I can. No, scroll for details. No, I don't want details. Okay. Right. Tea for the troops. This is why painters don't have families, folks. You just walk around all day trying to get ready to start painting. Then you're thinking about it the rest of the time. Yeah, there's no hassle in the palette. That's nice. More of that, please. Okay, off we go. I'll have to try and remember not to move the canvas. I'm at a terrible angle for it, but I think I can get the groundwork done at this angle. Okay. There's going to be a lot of staring goes on here now. See, you have choices. You could, although if that's a rectangular layout in the video frame, you could go that way and ignore what's going on in the background. I do like what's going on in the background though, so I'm not going to do that. I don't like that the chin is very slightly out of the shot, although I do have a tendency sometimes to create excitement in the painting to cut off the top of somebody's head slightly because it creates attention in the painting and adds interest. But cutting off a chin is never done that. So it does draw the eye down a little bit much. I don't want to make up details for the chin. I have to see, I'm thinking about placement and composition here now. Whether to position the head up higher and get the chin details later, you see. I probably will do that. I don't want to have to keep hopping around the video to get the groundwork done. Or do I like it? If I could see it without the bloody bar at the bottom, I would be able to read it more carefully. I don't think I've ever done, have I done somebody beardy before? I did do Shroddy's cat with stubbly. I haven't done beardy though. I've done mustachioed before. How have I done people with beards? Don't recall doing anybody with a beard. White is good though. Whites and greys are easy to work with. Okay, I have to make a decision on this now. Is it interesting exactly the composition that's there, or is it not? No. I'm tempted to leave more space over the head if I do that than it's in the video, to emphasize the fact that it is a snapshot type of thing rather than pretending that I have a sitter on front of me and it's done from life. So I might go with that. Degas, D-G-A-S, who you probably know, used to do that a lot. He used to work from photographs a lot, as well as from life. But he used to use a lot of photographic compositional elements. A couple of his paintings are famous for that because early photography was in at the time, and he was one of the few using it in painting at the time. He was kind of a father of impressionist kind of era, and he did some interesting things with composition because of using photos. And those impressionists were very influenced by Japanese art, and the flatness of photographs appealed to them, and they used to emphasize the fact that something was a photographic trick, which I thought was clever, very clever. And it was very different. You can see the difference turning up in the art suddenly, you know. I have two mediums here. I have turpentine, for medium for mixing paint with to water down a bit. And then I have white spirits for cleaning because white spirits is cheaper. You can get all non-smelly type things as well, but it doesn't bother me the smell. I like the smell of turps. I don't like the smell of white spirits as much. But okay, so we're going horizontal, and I have to think now for a minute. I want to get size, head size in. I'm hoping you can still see that if I move it in closer. This is an awkward angle. I'm making excuses already. Okay, just relax. Relax, Donna, and everything will be all right, all night. Okay, so the head is going to fill most of the canvas, and the chin just wants to be in. Chin wants to be in. Do we want the chin to be in? I'm still hate being torn on some issue when I'm just starting painting. No, we're gonna go chinless, okay? Chinless. Let's be brave here. Now I want to take a brush. I just want to establish background tones here. I am working with a combination of good brushes and rubbishy brushes. The rubbishy brushes, they're not that rubbishy actually. They're sort of acrylic painting brushes, but they're synthetic fiber. They're not too bad. They're a soft brush. The other one is a traditional oil painting brush, which is hog bristle, which is a bit harder brush because you can really push oil paint around a lot. Okay, I know this looks funny because it's a green background, and why is she putting in the brown? Because I don't want to deal with color this early, right? I want to reduce this to tonal stuff. Okay, now I'm making funny faces because I'm looking at the tilt of the head, okay, and I'm running a line down the middle of it, and it's actually off very slightly. So you can run a line down the middle of the head to, is it in the middle? Yeah, it's not a 3/4 view. It's actually nearly a straight on view, but it's very slightly tilted. So we want to take that into account when we're doing a right angle across it, okay? Right, so there's a tilt. Now, I have to admit, in shortcutting in my art, I have seen some people able to do figures with faces that are, like say the figure is stooped over or something, the face is right down at this angle. I get terrible distortion when I try that kind of thing. It's not great. Now, we're going to put ears in just as markers for where position of eyes are, because we know that you're going to come down about halfway for people's ears, okay? So we move from the general to the specific, right, when you're painting, to make life easier for ourselves. And you do things like for drawing skills and everything, and getting structure established well. You can do things like painting in skeletal structure first. Like I got people painting, I had students doing, they were a bit freaked out by it, but I had them doing skeletal structure of eye sockets first, then painting the eyes in, building it up from the back out to establish structure. And they could see the point of doing it, but they were going, well, why don't I just go and paint the eye? And I was going, because this stops it looking like a stuck-on eye if you understand the structure and you work from the dark of the hollow of the eye and then put stuff in. Now, you won't see that very well probably with this, but I thought I'd talk about it. Okay, so now that's that tone is not the correct tone for the background either, all right? It's, oh, my screen is going to sleep. But we're establishing, and it's not the mid-tone, actually, it's on the darker end of things, but we are establishing the tones. Now, the horizon line is straight behind him and he's on a tilt. And the horizon line is down at the level of his ear holes. So we're going straight with that. So in theory, this should provide a nice bit of energy in the painting already, because you've got a head that's tilted against a very strong horizon line. That must be an hour. That piece of music is over. My God, an hour, and I've done so little. Okay, so here's the tree line just getting blocked in. The place looks very like that near me, actually. I like water. I like rivers, the sea, my favorite thing. I prefer the sea really to lakes. Some people prefer lakes, but I'm a big fan of the sea. I like that open expanse, but it's very refreshing being near water. Okay, right, let's see, can we lay in some main things? So one of the first things that I'd look at in relation to the size of the head, right? I've got the size of the head established. I'm going to look at the distance, the width of the what do you call that between the eyes, that bit of the nose between the eyes, the width of, it's not the bridge, the width at the top of the bridge of the nose between the eyes in order to get the eye placement right. So I have to look at that in relation to the size of the head that I've laid out, because I have decided that the size of the head is about right. Okay, might make adjustments to it later, but so I'm going to find where the eyes are going to be established. Okay, and put in a couple of markers that are going to help me in terms of cranial structure. Okay, and although you got a downward tilt on although you got the downward tilt on the brows, sometimes I look at brows for position of eyes as well. Although you got a downward tilt on the brows, the middle of the eyes are on slope. Don't forget. So I'm going with the eye socket shape up to where the brows are, okay? And also we're looking at the bit that the light isn't hitting, basically, okay? And then we're going to establish the rest. So we're going with the darkest bits for a start, okay? And the reason for doing this in oil paint is because if you get something wrong, you can look at it and go, oh God, I got it right. You move an eye into the right position. I've had an eye hundredth of a millimeter out, and it looks, the whole painting looks wrong. If you get the eyes right, the painting is going to tend to look right. Okay. Now, to before I go on, I haven't even got eyeballs or anything established. Before I go on, I just want to look at length of nose in relation to that. There is some, I think there's going to be some distortion on that video because he's so close to the camera, but we're going with what we have, okay? And I'm trying to find the position of the bottom of the nose, really, the length of the nose, and then cut it off at the bottom where there's a cast shadow, so I can find the position of the mouth, right? And that is on a tilt, and the mouth is going to be on a tilt. Now, actually, mustaches are handy because they get you down to the mouth. Basically, what you're doing is you're traveling from one area on the canvas to another, and you're trying to find markers in the different spaces to break it up into sections so that your proportions are going to be correct, basically, okay? And I'll look for the darkest spots and the strongest lines, like in the center of the mouth. And I think that those eyes might be a bit close. I'm not sure. However, we haven't, nothing is set in stone yet. Let's look at it that way, okay? And every so often I'm going to stand back and see if I've got, because when you stand back a little bit, you can see as soon as things start going wrong, because things will always go wrong. You're solving a series of problems here, basically. So, you know, something's going to go wrong somewhere. So we work with that, not against it. Now, I have some basic structure down. So I'm going to get lighter tones. You don't want somebody being just ahead. Now his body is actually turned to the side and his head on, but okay, now we're going to be looking at kind of other clues like bone structure and things in here, but I didn't want to get too specific too early. I wanted to get my darks in first, okay? So now we're going into mid-tones and lights, and we're going to tonally work across the face. Sorry, my phone is turning off again. This is where I start getting paint on the phone and all that. We are still running. I haven't gotten a copyright strike yet. Good. Good. More music, please. Oh, it just stopped in the middle. Why did it do that? Hit an ad or something and stopped. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. Head's a bit short though. It's cutting out again. Why? You're plugged in, aren't you? Why is it doing that? I don't get that. Sorry about this. I think he's going back to the... He's cutting out of YouTube for some reason. Let's get different music and see what happens. Doesn't usually do that. Here's one I was playing recently. I love Beethoven's Fidelio, Prisoner's Chorus, which is, I think, this has been performed in prisons in Dublin. There was a very good concert in a prison, which I would have loved to go to, but this is fabulous. This is prisoners coming out into the light for the first time. I'll link to these afterwards if I can remember what I played. So this is out of Fidelio, and there's some pretty good singing on this. There we go. It's actually a little bit exciting, but I have a bit of the concentration stuff done. This is short, so I don't want that one. I want a mid-size brush. What brush do I want? I have another one of this size. I bought a load of new brushes recently. Ooh, new brushes. I'm sorry if I blast you out, I just want to hear it. You know the way you get obsessions with certain songs at certain times? This is one of the ones at the moment I can't stop playing. Okay, right. Mid-tones. Now it's all looking very mid-tone at the moment, isn't it? But I can see what's going on. Oh, I can see what's going on. Okay, I'm going to be bold and start putting in the eyeballs. Because I just want to see if the eyes are in the right place. And when I step back, this will give me the clue. So I've reduced it very much to generalizations at the moment because I realise that if something goes wrong, I haven't committed too far to anything in particular, okay? Which is advice I should follow in the rest of my life. But anyway, I'll get the hang of that someday. Maybe I should just stick to painting. I get that a lot. You should just stick to painting. Why don't you just stick to painting? Ah, well. Okay, I'm starting to loosen up a little bit now. It's a little bit. Ooh, oh, white canvas. Oh. Okay. So I'm establishing bone structure by looking at where light and shade is hidden, basically. And you wouldn't, you know that. Okay, I'm gonna get some black going because I want to establish some of the hair tones. Oh no, that's green. Where's me black? The thing that bugs me is that the tops, the lids of these, they get jammed up with oil paint, and then I can't get the lids back on them, and then you have to poke the thing out every time you use them, and you can end up with a whole tube of dry paint if you're not careful. You have to do things like this, which is not ideal. This is how I end up with paint all over me so frequently. But anyway. More anally retent painters would be having a fit watching the way I'm going about this. I like the mess, personally. I like a certain amount of mess on the palette because it frees me up. Some people like it very laid out and ordered and everything. That doesn't appeal to me because it freaks me out too much. Okay, so we're mixing some black and red. Try not to infect the whole lot of white that I have out, and I'm adding brown tones to it because the brown tones are just diffusing through everything because brown tones are in the mid-tones. So in order to give unity, you can't. It's not going to work if I just have grey that has no brown in it at all. In fact, it needs more brown. Burnier going in. I'm suspecting it probably used to be blonde. I don't know. Polish, isn't he? So possibly a lot of Poles are blonde or Polish descent. I thought I heard him say the other day. Actually reminds me slightly of a pal of mine's ages ago who was an American guy, and they were of Polish descent as well. Only he had a wider face, but he had similar bone structure. Oh, why is my screen flickering? Please don't overheat. No, it's not too hot. I don't understand that. We just ignore it and pretend it's not happening. Oh, computer, don't die on me, please. I can't afford repairs. Right, okay. It's a bit heavy-handed, but we don't mind. We don't mind. It can all be changed. Don't expect this to be finished in one sitting. It is going to be finished in one sitting. I'm pretty sure of that. We're going to get more exciting now shortly and get colour starting to happen. I'm introducing a new tone here, burnt sienna, into it for warm shadowed areas. That's all getting mixed in with the white and Venetian yellow as well. Okay, so you see the way it's a warmer skin tone. Well, maybe you don't see. I'll describe it for you. Okay, I'm going to have to check some things now again in a minute because I don't know how far off track I'm going here, folks. But I have to get a certain amount down before I decide I'm going off track, if you see what I mean. A lot of these tones are far too high because there are shadows cast on the face as well, so it'll change again. Somebody's new album they're advertising. Skip ad. That doesn't sound right. What the hell is that? Another ad. Oh, don't skip ad. That's more like. Okay, so we've got Eric Satie now, who was beloved of the Dadaist movement, and wrote Nociens, and one of his Nociens is one of my favorites. In fact, I think we didn't come in at the start there. I want you to hear my favorite one. I used to go to Second Life, and there was a sculpture park I used to go to, and you could sit your avatar at a piano, and it played just this tune. It didn't have a choice of tunes. It was by a beach. There was a little bar by the beach open. And you just sat there, and I used to just sit there, chill out, listen to the beach sounds and birds and things. And, your avatar would play that. Didn't have to put any work into it. But I loved all the environments and everything in Second Life. It was very laggy, but they had some nice places. They still do. And fun things to do. Haven't been on there in a while because it crashes like mad. This is like a circular kind of a tune. It's one of those ones that it just starts at the beginning again. It's short and then it starts at the beginning again. And it's very relaxing. It's that and Foray's Requiem would be my tops for putting me to sleep for an afternoon nap. I'm having trouble falling asleep but feeling sleepy. Debussy is good for that as well. Checking time is coming up again soon. I got to get rid of the white areas because they're going to mess up my ability to see the other tones. So I want to eliminate any white areas and re-establish them later in the correct places if I decide what the palest area is. I'm going to burnt sienna again to establish around the lips. Losing my angle, folks. Losing my angle. everything wants to come back to the horizontal all the time, so you have to kind of watch out that that doesn't happen. I do find that difficult. But sure, what's the painting without a challenge? That's what I say. Actually, it doesn't. It's not that far tilted. I don't know if I have it as far tilted as in the original, to be honest with you. Never said I was perfect, did I? Never even said I was good, to be honest. Now, tricky areas with a lot of things going on, but I don't want to get caught up in one bit too much. I'm traveling around the canvas a lot. Because, again, I don't want to commit to one area too early. God, how can you work up a sweat just painting? It's not that difficult. I have a bath planned for my future after this. I didn't bother having it before this because I thought, okay, I might get smelly and dirty. So I'll just do it afterwards. Now, I have not stepped back from this thing for a while, so when I get this last little bit of white gone, I'm going to do that and see where I am. I may laugh, I may not, I don't know. I might laugh or I might go, we'll see. Do, do, do. I don't know that one. I don't like that one that much, to be honest. It's a bit angsty. I don't want angst when I'm painting. Sometimes you want like energetic things going on and you might play something to boost your energy, but it does interfere with your concentration. Generalizing, but let me see where I am. I just want to get the right brightness on key areas. I can't step away now. I need to step away from the painting, please. Nothing to see, step away. Okay. Let me have a think about this. So far, reminds me of some Van Gogh type just before he decides to do something to himself that isn't very good. He looks like he's having a philosophical crisis. But we can work with that, and it could be a good thing. But there's no there's nothing mad. There's nothing mad, obviously wrong. That the eyes are a little bit not crossed, but they're tiny bit. There might be something wrong there, but we'll see. I'm thinking this one might not be out far enough. I'm not sure though, so I would have to go in there and do more to find out. And you're looking for clues along the way. How long have we been on? I don't know, we've been on ages. I don't want this stream to be going all day. But I do have unlimited internet, so let's see where we are. See, I don't want to put in real blacks in eyeballs and things like that until I have the position of the eyes right. And the eyes tend to be key to a portrait for me, so I have to get them right before other things start locking in. They're actually on a straight line. They shouldn't be. Look at it. It's trying to straighten itself up. I don't flip and want it to. Oh, I see. Oh, his eyes aren't on a straight line. His eyes are a bit like mine. I think it's my right eye, very slightly tilted upwards. So, but that could be lower. This is. I need to sort this out before I can sort something else out. We've got a positioning issue, possibly. It's anatomically it's okay, but I wanted that tilt slight. So we're coming down a bit, folks. Coming down a bit further here. And it's basically painting the same position, but down further. Right? So the eyeball is going to be slightly different. This is going to be lower. I'm trying to change things, but anyway. If you can't be very decisive when you're changing it and you don't get it bang on the second time and you have to keep fiddling, then you're into potential problems. Okay. Let me have a look at this for ideas now. Oh, this is just, sorry, I have to get rid of that music. No. Doing this for me. Let's hear some Vivaldi aria. This is short. So Venti Soli. I don't know who's singing it. Who's singing it? I don't say who's singing it, but got a very nice Rubens drawing on the thumbnail. And this is a nice tune. Okay, I think I'm happier with that position. I know we still got the mad-eyed Picasso look, but that's because it's all in Van Dyke Brown, you see, at the moment. So I don't mind that. I don't mind. It's okay. It's going to start getting into finicky details soon. I don't know, I have to decide whether to cut the stream off or what, because then it gets really boring for you, because it's just a person leaning in that you can't really see. I would have another couple of hours session, you know. So I don't know, I'll do something for you, like stick in some green background or something, but we're not going to get that far with it on the stream because it's just going to be a very dull stream because you don't have close-ups of what I'm doing. That's why people do all these time-lapse things, people who can do these things. Sorry, I want to stare for a minute. I want to get a clue about eyes here. Where's my green? I'm going to get more into colour just because I'll get the colour right around the eyes, and I'll see how good the lightness is starting to get. Because if you get structure correct, you should be able to get lightness, but if you have colour cues as well, that can help. So I want to get into what green did I use there? Hooker's green. Montagraph's eyes, Hooker's green. Okay, and we give him some olive green. I wanted to get a more slight bit of ochre in there, so I'm going into the olive because Hooker's green is a very bluey kind of a green. You're not matching the person's eye colour, you're matching the person's eye colour in that lighting, you see what I mean? And this is a highlight on the eye that I'm going for because I want to show how the light is reflecting off that eye and put a highlight in to try to bring the eyes to life. And that helps with positioning to see if you've got the right position going as well. Oh my God, I'm having a squeak now. You'll see me doing funny things, looking over glasses and whatnot next. Positioning right now. It's going to be eyeball action here soon, or pupil action. Okay, right, black. So we're putting in the pupils because we've decided the positioning is okay. I haven't got as much of a tilt on the head as I would have liked, but I'm putting up with it. I told you I have difficulty with tilts. Now I have to do a bit of peering, and I need a different brush, smaller one. This is how you need different brushes. You need different brushes to do different jobs and different sizes, obviously. Okay, that's looking better. Now, see, I would get into start getting out of that sienna range and things, and after establishing it, and look for key points like corners of eyes for putting reds and things in. So I've established the lines, I've established the tone, and I'm starting to work with colour now, you see, for creating more structure. Because that's what creates structure, isn't it? Lines, tone, and colour. And I'm working back and forth all the time, getting the thing tonally correct as well. Like I'm going into this with the Van Dyke Brown again to establish the depth of an eyeball socket there. And it's lashing out. It's great painting weather. Great painting weather. So I'm looking for where things intersect and the light is casting hard shadow for navigational points on the face, all right? And I will show you at what point I left it before we break off as well, because I've been on a hell of a long time now. But I said I'd do it, and I will. I will finish it, and I'll show you. I'll show you how it went. I'd say a couple of days. Like if I was doing a commission, which you don't really do anymore, it could be a couple of weeks. You wouldn't know. It depends on the painting. It just depends on the painting. Depends if you run into what problems you run into. Some paintings just nearly paint themselves, and then others are just you sort of have to bully them into submission nearly. Some you rethink something, you end up starting from scratch again. Like you have to be prepared to jump the whole lot. And that's not a failure. That's when it's working. And it's not a problem. It's fun doing that. My little moments might be hairy, but it's fun. Okay, I'm probably going to keep working on it and leave it at that, folks. I'm going to do one more thing. We'll get one more colour out. I'll keep working away, but I'm not going to inflict it on you in the stream, because I'm going to get more specific now and go into little areas, and you won't be able to see anything anyway, right? So you're not missing anything in the next bit. I'm just going to put in a lighter tone for the sky to start getting colour into it, so that I can work back into the face with colour. You see the way I'm working around the painting all the time. I'm not, going into an area, spending ages on it, and then ignoring everything else. It's the whole painting is the painting. You know what I mean? If there's part of the painting that's not working, quite a lot of the painting may start not to work. You know what I mean? And I'm so sorry for seeming like I was ignoring anybody. If there's anybody still around, my apologies. But it was going to be that sort of a stream where I just couldn't talk to people anyway. I wouldn't normally be good at talking when I'm painting, unless there's a sitter that I have to keep awake somehow. Because sometimes they drift off from you and go into their own world, and that's not good if they're too much in their own world. It has to be something about the relationship with the person outside the canvas, not an interior thing. I don't think that's good when that happens. But I'm sorry for ignoring you. I want a different blue here. Hang on. I'm looking for indigo blue or talo. That is no, it's black. I thought I had it out. Come out. Actually, that is mostly the colour of Montgraf's eyes is Terra Verde. It's Terra Verde eyes. I love all the names for the paint. Terra Verde is a very flat mid green. It's very it's like an olive tree. You know, that kind of olivey, pale olive tree colour. I can't find my blue. That's annoying. Okay, I'll just have to go with black. I hate it when I can't find something when I'm just reaching for that to do. Okay, so you can sort of, there's possibly enough there now that you can see how I'm thinking anyway, right? Where I'm going with this. There's going to be greens picking up the eyes. If you know what I mean. So I just want to stick in some green. Oh, and I'm getting hungry too. Might be time for a protein shake. Okay, so there's, you know, some bits that are crude, but you get the idea. Okay, folks, I'm going to keep working on it, get something to eat, and keep working on it for a little while. And again, sorry for ignoring anybody. Or, oh my God, you're not still there. No, probably not. Okay. Right, I'll just show you closer what I got so far. And then we'll say bye. Okay, so that's what that's what we got so far. He looks like one mean guy there. We'll take some of the mean look out because you didn't have that mean a look in the video. Pretty mean, but okay, so it's a start, you know. It's not a very close likeness yet, but I have some confidence we'll get further along the way with it, all right? So, Silla. And, yeah, maybe another couple of hours on it. I'd say I usually wouldn't get more than, say, 5 hours painting in without getting very tired. So, my God, you are still here. I cannot believe that, Nina. I can't believe that. You're different for punishment. I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway. Okay, look, we'll meet again soon, and I'll show you how it turned out, all right? I have to finish it now, you see. That makes me finish it. I don't like not finishing things, though. She says with the jersey that I still have to finish. That's a year and a half in the making. Oh, my God. I'll have to do that later. That's on the list. Okay, talk to you soon. Thanks for dropping by. See ya.